psychic development reading for New Awakening. And I have 3 crystals that I have pulled for this reading. So I'll get into the other 2 in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and surround us in some protective space with my rose quartz. Okay, so rose quartz has to do with, well, relationships. It's a heart chakra stone. It has to do with harmony in relationships. It also has to do with healing, comfort, joy, different positive emotions like that. And it can have to do with all types of relationships too. Um, it can have to do with friendships or really any type of relationship, romantic or otherwise. And then I have my purple fluorite. Okay, I'm going to surround us in this one too. I was getting a feeling, okay, when I was surrounding us in the protective space the first time, your energy has just some kind of, how do you say it? Just some old stuff in it. Um, so when you are kind of moving into a new situation, when you leave something behind, when you leave a relationship, especially if it's a little painful, then it's good to think about how you can clear your energy field, like maybe going to somebody. I'm not sure exactly what you would resonate with. Um, because I don't really know exactly what I would want to throw out there, but somebody who does some kind of clearing work energetically, this would be a good thing to do, like to go in person and have some kind of treatment like this done. Like a lot of people do different types of, a lot of people think of like their mental or their emotional, right? So if they end a relationship or something, they might go and see like a psychologist or something like this, and they'll talk about their emotions or the mental stuff, which obviously can be good for some people, but a lot of people forget about their energy field and their energetic bodies. It actually feels like you've done pretty well actually in terms of kind of moving from one thing to another, and you can see how this is a positive thing and you can move forward on your own in your own energy. It's just that your energy needs to be kind of cleared. Okay, so point is, I think that's also why I'm feeling like I'm going to surround us again, because there is some clearing that just needs to happen here. Okay, so it feels like at your feet, I feel some energies too. So this is feeling path related and goal oriented. And this just, again, it just feels like a block in terms of some energies that are surfacing that need to be released, also that need to surface and they need to be released. So just a kind of sort of general cleaning. I feel like if you can get rid of some of this excess energy and some of this old kind of wounded energy that's there, some of this even feels like past life too. So even if you're clearing something from the present, you can end up clearing some past stuff that are maybe related in some way. Even if it's not the exact same situation that brought up some of that energy. Um, if there were similar emotions, then you can end up going back and you can clear other lifetimes as well, or other experiences from other lifetimes as well. So that can be a positive thing. You can end up going into other things also that need to be cleared. So you can look at it as kind of an opportunity to clear things. But it feels like once you do that, once you remove some of this excess stuff, and it does feel like a lot of it. So you're gonna have to kind of feel it out, like how many times you would need to do some kind of, like I said, some kind of clearing, whatever you resonate with. Maybe you try different things, maybe you do the same thing a few times, or however many times you feel like you need to do it before you actually feel like, okay, you're clear, your energy is a lot more clear. Obviously you are already clearer just on your own, but it feels like if you get rid of more of this kind of excess old wounded stuff, then you'll be able to move forward more in terms of like career, as far as where you want to head, what you really want to be doing with your path. So the block doesn't really feel substantial. And when it comes to moving forward with your path in that way, some of this feels like it might just be like ideas of things. So you kind of know what the steps are to start working towards it and moving in that direction more and more, but like actual physical things where you are moving in that direction. So you need the actual steps, and you need those actual steps to become available to you. But it does feel like you are getting more the kind of picture or vision of how to do it, which is good. It feels like you just need something more substantial um, as far as how to do it when it comes to actual steps. So not just like I know what to do, but I'm doing it. So it feels like as you remove more of this energy, those types of things are going to become more readily available to you. So that doesn't mean that you just end up with all of a sudden it's manifested instantly, because this feels kind of like a little bit of a long-term thing, where it kind of feels like it's a project in setting it up. It feels like a bigger thing that you want to do, not just some kind of small thing in a sense. So there are several steps needed to kind of get the actual picture established, where it's a business that's actually manifested, it's taking place. But you can see it manifesting as you're coming closer to that goal. So the first part of manifesting something is obviously the idea of it. But the idea The idea is an energetic thing. So if you were to, let's say, travel out of your astral body, for instance, or I mean, out of your physical body into your astral body, rather, and you were to kind of look for, obviously, you can direct like an astral experience. So let's say you purposefully were intending you are going to see your goals and your desires out there, and this specific one in terms of what you want to be doing with your career, how you want that to manifest your business. Well, you would see the energy of it. And the closer that it gets to the physical, you're going to see it looking more and more and more solid. It's almost going to look less ethereal. It's going to have more color. And this is a real thing. If you were to go out there, you would see it. You would see how it's already an intention that you have. You've put it out there in the energy field, okay? So it is in the process of manifesting into the physical. So it's in the process of becoming a physical thing. So it's almost kind of like the density is changing. It's getting more and more solid where you're going to see it physically birthing into this realm where you can actually use it. You can actually do something with it here. So again, that's why they're saying that it's so important to clear your energy field. Otherwise, it gets kind of stuck there. And this is a problem that people have. They have an idea, they have a vision or whatever, but it's like they can't get it past the root chakra. It's like it just gets kind of stuck somewhere up here. It doesn't want to go all the way down into manifestation. It wants to stay in kind of dream idea kind of land where we're sort of processing it in this way. And this is because there are other chakras lower down that are just not cleared. Or in this case, also, it doesn't have to be a chakra thing. A lot of times it can be chakra related because higher chakras tend to have to do with we're receiving an idea, creativity, things like that. And then the lower ones and the root chakra especially, they have to do with grounding the idea. And then you have sort of the process in the middle. So you can kind of look at chakras in that way when it comes to like manifesting a goal or a dream or a desire. But obviously there can be other things that are blocked as well. More along the lines of just energy field in general, so not necessarily contained into one specific area like a chakra tends to be or tends to be associated with. So this is kind of a to them, this is kind of a general sort of overall clearing, cleansing of your entire energy body and your whole energy field, your emotional body, your mental body, your energy body. Before this can come through into physical form and you can have almost more concrete ideas, not of what you want and where you want to end up. That's pretty much solid and you pretty much have that down where you can see it. The point is manifesting it and knowing how to get there. And that's the part that can kind of elude you a little bit. And this is why. It's just some cloudy energy. So the same as if you were a pilot and there's a cloud in front of you, you can't really see what's beyond the cloud or what to do past it. You can still know that you're flying to a certain place. You can know where it is that you're supposed to end up. And you can even kind of know where you are right then. But at the same time, you need to be careful because you don't know what is on the other side of the cloud. So the point is, if there's a cloud in your energy field, you're not going to be able to see properly how to move forward or exactly what steps to take. So they're really stressing this, that this is very important. It's very important to clear your energy field, however you feel to do it, whether it's you go to a shaman and they're clearing you with smudge, or you go to people who use forms of energy healing or sound healing. But something that's more spiritual and energetic, that focuses completely on the energy body, the chakra centers, your all of your energy bodies. So your mental body, your emotional body as well. It focuses on those things, but in an energetic way. So through energy and the use of energy, or through some kind of metaphysical tool, since this is a metaphysical block that they're talking about, this has to do with energy. Okay, so this guide. Whoa. Okay, I'm getting a little, whoa, getting a little too relaxed here. Okay, so, right, this would be the guide that I kind of bumped into before, who was doing most of the talking during the last reading, which I completely forgot about until right before I was about to do this reading. And then all of a sudden I started kind of sensing this guide a little bit. So just, yeah, I think I already described this guide in the last one. I must have, because it's pretty distinct, as he doesn't really seem to have any kind of body or anything. He definitely feels male, um, but he just kind of feels like a presence. And he feels almost very deep, is how I can think to describe it. If you were to think about deep out in space or deep in the ground, and you think of almost like a low, like drum kind of sound, sort of vibrating through something. That's how he kind of feels to me. Whoa. And now okay, he was over there. Now he's like here, where I'm feeling his energy kind of around me. And how do I say it? Whoa, I almost feel like I'm not sitting in the chair anymore. It's almost really disorienting, the energy of it. Kind of like you're not in an exact physical spot anymore. It feels really um, strange. Okay, so he's pointing out the heart chakra. This is an area to focus on, and there's a block that needs to be removed from there. But again, this is going back into past lives also. And then the sacral chakra as well, he's saying. So he's saying in terms of confidence, he's saying emotional baggage, but he's also saying emotional freedom. He's also saying confidence, self-empowerment, self-esteem, and almost kind of relaxing into yourself and kind of letting things be. And he's also saying that the point is that you can create anything that you want. And it's almost like before you were needing to see that. You almost had this thing of, I want this, but almost in a way, who cares? Even though obviously you cared about it, but he's saying it in that way, almost like, who cares? It will never manifest type of thing. Like you can't give too much care to it. Um, because it's almost like a losing battle. So he's saying, so you know that already, that's where you were before. So he's saying that the good news is you have cleared that. So now you can see the vision and the desire in a way where it's possible to manifest, and you're looking forward to it and you're moving toward it. I feel like this could happen in a fairly quick amount of time. I feel like, I mean, he's suggesting that in maybe like a year, this whole thing could be more or less manifested, which is kind of surprising to me, just because it seems like a pretty big project. Now, obviously, this is could, so this depends on um, yeah, he's kind of well, he's saying that that really shouldn't be surprising. Something, um, he's saying something longer doesn't have to be surprising. So why should something shorter have to be surprising? Even shorter than that doesn't have to be surprising, and really shouldn't be, because he's saying that time, yeah, time is just an illusion. Like your guides were saying before, it's really out there in the energy field, um, and the quicker it comes into the physical, it has to do with your level of your energy levels. Okay, your vibration, your energetic vibration, your level of vibration. Does it match that thing or does it not match that thing? And it could happen in 2 days if it matches the thing. If it needs to be a project, then that's almost like how you need to see it. And there is a feeling like it does. Like, so there is a progression, but that's almost because you need that, you need it to manifest in that way, almost to believe in it. So we almost put limits into the physical. We put time constraints and we put a process in the physical. But he's saying at the same time that that is good because we can learn through that process. So he's not saying that that's a negative thing, but he's saying to just understand um, there's a value in letting go of physical boundaries, because he's saying that they don't make any sense. He's saying physical boundaries don't make any sense. What is a physical boundary? There's almost this feeling like he almost can't kind of compute a physical boundary. He doesn't relate to the concept because he operates without any kind of time constraints. He can see the time constraints of other realities. He can perceive them. He can understand them in that way. He can understand the concept of them, but through observation only. He doesn't understand it by experiencing it himself because he almost doesn't have the ability to. He's just so out of the range of that kind of concept actually grabbing him or pulling. He's saying gravitating, gravity, like almost like pulling him into it is what he means. So he can't be pulled down to that vibrational level, um where he would be required to experience that in order to learn how to raise his vibration again. Okay. Okay, good. I got that. God. He obviously speaks a little bit differently than most guides do, so. He's saying, okay. I just completely lost what he just said. Uh, okay, so obviously there is a process because you need there to be one, and in the physical we tend to require processes to acquiring certain things that we need or that would benefit us or fuel us on our path or that we want or desire. But depending on how clear your energy field is, and how much you believe in what you are doing. And mainly it has to do with how high of a vibration you are required to be on to manifest that thing. If you're matching it well enough, it will come to you quickly. So you can slow it down or speed it up by raising or decreasing your vibratory level. Okay, so this is why this is the guide that's talking. This is the reason that they were choosing this guide specifically because he doesn't have any kind of excuse me, time constraints. I don't know what just happened there. Time constraints or even really fully grasping the concept of it. Like he can grasp it, but again, it's through observing it. It's through observation only. That's his preference when it comes to learning those types of things because he needs to have this experience in order to help you. And obviously it's not only about you, his perspective. He is helping you with his perspective though. And that's one of the ways that he's able to help you because he does hold that vibration. Um, and that sort of dimension within himself. It almost feels like he almost is like a dimension. He almost feels like some kind of moving dimension, but he's saying that that's because that isn't true. It's just he's in a dimension. It's just that I'm feeling him in his, and his is so drastically different from mine, and almost like attempting to remove me from mine in a sense, so it kind of feels that way to me. Okay. In terms of relationships, it kind of feels like to let that go for a bit, because he's saying that you don't want to attract a similar type of circumstance. It doesn't have to be let go for a long while, it doesn't have to be let go long term, but just for a short while, for long enough to completely heal and process what you are going through, and also to kind of focus on yourself and manifesting where you're going in terms of your desires and your career, because it feels like this last relationship was kind of stifling you in that way. Whereas if you're in that energy already, then it kind of feels like whoever the new person is that you include in your space is going to perceive you in a different way based off that. They're going to see that that's already in your space. So that's just kind of comes along with you. They have to accept that about you already, if that makes sense. Because it's already in your space, so it's like it's part of your package. They can't hold you back from having it. So you can't attract someone who could do that or would do that. That doesn't mean that you have to have that completely manifested before you start like dating someone or something like that. That's not what he's saying, but he's saying it should be like more well on the way. Where you see this is coming, you're moving forward in terms of that, where it's not a question of whether or not it's going to come into your reality. But again, right now you need to focus on clearing yourself, focus on yourself, your own healing, and the things that you want versus what somebody else wants. Oh, yeah. He's reminding me. Okay, third crystal. Okay, so I forgot to show you this one. So this is my crystal quartz pyramid here. Okay, so I'm going to surround this in some protective space and do some clearing with this crystal as well. Now this one, because of the pyramid, it has this point here. So this is very clearing anyway, specifically, and then also because it's a crystal quartz, you can see how clear the crystal quartz are. So they tend to have to do with clearing to begin with, and also most white stones, a lot of the white stones or a clear kind of stone like this has to do with clearing. Also with connecting to higher energies as well, that can aid with clearing. And then other than that, it's kind of a multi-purpose type of stone. So I feel like this is a really good one to use. I feel like I should kind of bring this up like he would want me to, or like he wants me to. And not to mention as well that it's extremely easy to find. Like it's pretty much the most common crystal around. You can always find a clear quartz. Basically, any kind of new age kind of shop that you can find, they're going to have this around, or even online. It's just extremely easy to get. And it's basically an all-purpose stone with kind of a focus still on clearing, connecting to higher energies, and then you can pretty much program it for whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to do some more clearing, surround this again in some more positive space here. Because I like to surround myself again, before I do any clearing, even if I already have multiple times. It's just kind of a habit. I don't want to transfer anything from myself, obviously. But I tend to just let, obviously, the guides do the clearing and everything. I'm just sort of aiding it with a visualization. So this guide has a very protective energy as well. And he's kind of surrounding me in this black bubble. I always see him as black. I keep seeing him always with this kind of black color. That's just kind of how I think of it, maybe. I don't know. But even then, it's also a color that he's showing me, just because it makes me, this energy feels like space. It feels like something really deep. But I wasn't really also understanding that it's also a very protective type of energy that he has. And he's definitely helping you with clearing as well. I'm so confused right now if they're, I don't know if I'm picking up on a second guide also who's like more of a protective clearing guide, or if this is still only, I don't know. I feel like this is still the same guide that I'm picking up on. So there's almost like maybe different. Yeah, there's almost like different kind of aspects in a sense to this guide, or different things that he can do or help you with, it feels like. Because all of a sudden his energy is feeling really protective and also like it's clearing you of certain things. So this guide is doing multiple things. He's kind of sending you into an energy where you can create things. At the same time, he can protect you, and he's helping to clear you so that abundance can flow in. And he's saying in all areas. Okay, so this other person, so Now he's referring to the previous relationship that you recently left. So again, this person feels like they were kind of a block or a hindrance when it comes to um, manifesting the things that you desired. That was even part of the block when it came to realizing that you could actually do those things and that you needed to look at that as an actual possibility and try and move towards it. And it feels like in order to stay with that person, um, you had to be on that same vibration. So you had to feel like you couldn't have those things. And then you would stay with this person, but you would also stay in the same job and you would stay not having things that you want, even though it didn't appear that way to you on the outside. But it feels more like mainly you didn't want to look at that, but that is what was happening, and you did kind of see that. You did kind of know that all along. So it was more of an acknowledgement, but it feels like what actually took place and happened, more or less, is that when you started to really acknowledge this and these things that you want, you moved you moved out of that space. You moved into a different reality, a different space from what that person was vibrating on. And no matter how that manifested or how it seemed, that person, like the way in which that person ended up leaving your space, no matter how that might look from an outward appearance, it was actually you leaving that person's space. You no longer vibrated on the same level anymore. And so that person had to leave your space in some way. And so that's the way that you ended up seeing that. That's the way it occurred. But it was a result of slowly manifesting, you just coming out of this person's sort of energetic field of vibration, and you couldn't be there together anymore, sort of in the same space energetically. So he's saying that this person doesn't vibe with you. They're not on the same vibration. And he's saying that that's the problem there. That was the issue there. So you had to keep your energy level down on a certain vibration to be with them. But that also meant that you had to cut yourself off from different outlooks on your life and even on yourself and your purpose and what you were able to do and what you were able to bring, and new things that you were able to discover about yourself. Those had to be cut off. And you had to stay the same and stay in the same way of thinking and doing the same things, even though you were unhappy, and you had to kind of be happy with being unhappy to stay with this person, energetically speaking. So he's just saying that this person really didn't suit your energetic needs. So now you need to clear your energy field, not only before this thing that you would want can manifest, but before someone who really suits you would be able to come into your life and match your vibration, because they are on a high vibration. They're going to be on a higher vibration. So you're going to end up pulling in a higher person. And it feels like maybe you're not quite there yet when it comes to the level that you're vibrating on, which again is because of this old stuff that you're carrying. But it feels like once you're not carrying it as much as you would need to be, again, you're going to be a little bit more further along the way of manifesting your dreams and your desires before you would meet this other person. So he's saying the processes we have here, we can complicate them, but it's really just the process of how quickly can you get to one vibration or another, or how long can you stay in one vibration, or how slowly can you manifest getting to a new one. So he's saying that if it were a physical thing, it would never manifest. It doesn't work that way. It only manifests, physical things only manifest because they are on an energy vibration. And even if they appear physical, even if they appear one way, it's about getting to that other vibration. And that's really all that it's about. That's all it entails. You are traveling from one destination to another energetically. And as you're moving forward to that energetic destination, physically, you're going to see this process happening around you of all these different things manifesting and materializing along the way to your ultimate goal of what you want to manifest in the physical. But again, really, you're just leaving one vibration and you're stepping into a new one. And it's really the journey of getting there, and it's no more complicated than that. He's saying that it is, he's saying that it's that simple. And that's his kind of ultimate analogy to sort of describe physical things, because he's seeing them from his perspective. So he's seeing more what they are. Without experiencing them, he's just observing them, and he can observe in this free way what they are without kind of experiencing the illusion of how they seem to be. He just sees them completely from this other angle where he is in his world, in his dimension, his energetic space, vibrating on his level. And he sees this lower level of vibration down here, and what's really happening and what people are really using to manifest things, what they're really working through when they work towards goals. And your guides are saying that they're really just working through blocks. If they're working towards something or working through something to get somewhere, that's the illusion, but they're really just working through an energetic block, which is usually meaning that they're working through some energy belief that they have. Okay, so I was feeling a female guide for a second. She was saying the last couple of sentences there, but now I feel his energy again really intensely. It almost feels like it's kind of blocking me from being able to kind of pick up on this female guide. So you have multiple guides here, but this is the one who's mainly supposed to be revealing himself or speaking. This is the one that they want you to know about right now for what you're doing, what you're manifesting. Once in a while, there is another energy that's kind of there for a second, like a flash, or maybe a few seconds, but not long enough where I can actually really know what it is. And that definitely feels on purpose. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit more clearing here. Okay, so I'm going to use my purple fluorite. So this female guide is definitely helping to clear you as well, because she's there all of a sudden with a lot of clearing, healing kind of energies coming in. She's definitely having a kind of healing type of energy. And for a second, I'm almost feeling a kind of angelic kind of vibration, but then there's such a, again, like a pushback with that. I don't even want to say that for sure because I just can't feel it for a long enough amount of time to know for sure if that's what it is completely. But I am kind of feeling this vibration a little bit more now, and I feel like they're allowing that a little bit more just because now they've come through a bit more with exactly why this first male guide has been talking, exactly what he's helping you with, what he wants to get across, this thing of no time and all this stuff, exactly what he's helping you with. That's the only reason that I'm picking up on her a little bit more. But I still feel like he's the focus. So he's kind of, even though he's not your primary guide, I don't think, but he is kind of stepping in right now to aid you with this specific stuff. At the same time, it almost feels like because of the way he is and how he kind of lacks a form specifically, it almost feels like he can sort of become whatever is needed. Because he almost felt like a primary guide for a second there after I said that, but it almost feels that way, almost like he can be a sort of makeshift primary guide if he needs to temporarily, if that makes sense. Or he can kind of step into most any role depending on what's needed or required of him just because of the way that his energy is. So another thing coming up is to not worry about not always knowing exactly what to do in terms of career, how to get this exactly manifested and moving forward, because I feel like that's going to be shown to you. Again, it just has to do with your level of vibration that you are on, clearing this stuff out of your energy field, and the more clear you become, the easier it's going to be for you to manifest that and for it to really take hold in your life. And also for like a new positive relationship to come as well eventually with somebody who um, actually suits your energy. But again, you're required to be on a certain vibratory level. Uh, to match that specific energy that you need, and even there's a word like requirement, almost like, and that you're required to have, almost like you're required to have a specific person, which means you're required to be on a specific vibration in order to meet that person and match that person. I feel like they're more or less on that vibration, kind of waiting for you. I don't feel like their vibration has to shift that much, really, even if certain things do shift in their life as your vibration is shifting and as things are shifting for you. But I feel like right now this person is comfortable with not having that. Or in other words, not having you. So in other words, they're not lacking something, but I don't, even if things shift in their life, I don't feel like their vibration has to increase that much. So it feels like it's more your vibration that needs to clear and increase. Okay, so I'm to the time frame, so I'm just going to do one more quick pass here. Okay, so I'm going to use my rose quartz now. And again, this male guide is definitely helping you with clearing. Okay, so that is the end of this reading. So thank you very much for allowing me to connect to your guides and to bring this through for you. And I truly hope that it benefits you. Thank you very much. Namaste.